The stars are watching, but they don't care. Once in a quiet little village at the edge of the world, there lived a boy named Eli. He was small for his age, with curious eyes that always looked upward, toward the night sky. The people of the village often told stories about the stars. Some said they were the eyes of the gods watching over the earth. Others whispered that the stars were ancient spirits, guarding secrets too old for human minds. But Eli never believed those tales. Every night he would climb onto the roof of his small wooden house and lie on his back, staring at the sky. The stars glittered cold and distant, like tiny holes poked in a dark blanket. His grandmother used to say, "The stars see everything, Eli. They watch us and guide us." But Eli didn't feel guided. He felt ignored. One evening, as the village slept, Eli decided to ask the stars himself. He climbed higher than ever before, up the old oak tree that stood at the edge of the fields. The wind rustled through the leaves, and the branches creaked under his weight, but he didn't stop until he reached the very top. There, with his face turned to the heavens, he spoke. "Stars," he said, "if you're watching, why don't you ever answer?" The stars, of course, did not reply. They shone as they always had, silent, unmoved. Eli waited, his breath turning to mist in the cold night air. Minutes passed. Then an hour. Still nothing. Disappointed, he climbed down and wandered into the fields. The grass whispered against his legs as he walked, and the only sound was the distant cry of an owl. Then he saw something. A light flickering near the old stone well. At first, he thought it was a firefly, but it was too steady, too bright. Eli approached carefully. The light wasn't coming from the well, it was coming from inside it. He leaned over the edge and gasped. Below, floating just above the water, was a tiny star. Not a reflection, not a trick of the eye. A real glowing star, no bigger than his palm. Eli hesitated. This was impossible. Stars were supposed to be far away, untouchable. But this one was here, drifting as if waiting for him. Without thinking, he reached down. The moment his fingers brushed the star, the world around him vanished. Suddenly, he was standing in an endless black sky, surrounded by stars. Millions of them, stretching in every direction. Some burned bright and fierce, others pulsed gently like slow breaths. And in front of him stood a figure, tall, made of shimmering light, with eyes like distant sun. "You called," the figure said, though its voice was not a voice at all, just a feeling, a knowing in Eli's mind. Eli trembled. Are you a star?" The figure tilted its head. "I am what you call a star, yes, but not as you imagine." Eli swallowed. "Do you watch us? Do you care what happens down there?" The star being looked at him for a long time. Then it spoke again. "We watch, but we do not care." Eli's heart sank. "Why not?" The star sighed. If stars could sigh. "We are old, child. Older than your world. We have seen kingdoms rise and crumble. We have seen oceans dry and mountains turn to dust. Your lives are like sparks bright, quick, then gone. To us, you are a flicker, a breath. We cannot care for every flicker in the dark." Eli felt small, smaller than ever. "Then what's the point?" he whispered. The star bent closer. "The point is not whether we care. The point is that you do." And with that, Eli was back by the well, the cold night air biting his skin. Above him the stars glittered, just as they always had. Silent, distant. But Eli no longer felt ignored, because now he understood. The stars were not there to guide him. They were not there to love him, or punish him, or even notice him. They were simply there, beautiful, eternal, indifferent. And that was okay, because Eli was here. on earth. A life sin. And that was enough. He walked home, his bare feet pressing into the damp grass. And for the first time, he didn't look up at the sky. He looked ahead. The stars watched. But Eli no longer needed them to care. The end.